Hello, my name is Kevin Bacon. Today I'm going to talk to you about why I feel professional athletes are overpaid. Did you know that across the five major sports platforms, the average career earnings is $12.6 million for a 4.5 year career? Why is that significant? Well, when athletes are compared to other professions in the United States, the gap is significant. According to Business Insider, anesthesiologists and surgeons have a mean annual salary of $246,000 and $240,000 respectively. Compare that to an article posted on the Huffington Post website that states Alex Rodriguez makes $253,968 per hit. NFL star Drew Brees makes $170,000 per touchdown thrown. And if we continue further, NHL star Sidney Crosby makes just over $600,000 per goal scored. So I ask, why are athletes making 2 to 3 times more than surgeons who save lives? The truth is, a bench player can make anywhere from $36,000 to $550,000 depending on what sport they are in. Again, I ask, are athletes overpaid? Well, according to a survey conducted by me using the help of SurveyMonkey, I found that 83% of my classmates felt that athletes are overpaid. And a similar survey conducted by Business Insider found that roughly 78% of people felt athletes were overpaid. And lastly, the website debate.org conducted a similar survey again and found that only 56% of people were convinced athletes were overpaid. So, do you think they are worth the money? Responses were split right down the middle of my classmates. There was 3 no's and a yes and maybe. One respondent said, I feel they should make money for the talent they have, but to be overpaid when so many others are living paycheck to paycheck is a little bit ridiculous. Another fan brought up a whole nother point regarding behavior, society standards, and being a role model, and saying, no, especially people like Colin Kaepernick, who are allowed to play while Tom Brady is suspended for the amount of air in a ball. I found it interesting that when asking the question, are athletes overpaid, 83% agreed that they are. However, when you reword the question, do you think athletes are worth the money, is more of a split down the middle. Now let's take a look at the other side of the coin. Aren't we the fans the ones who dictate how much money these guys make in the first place? Chris Mueller brings that point up in his article titled, 2 Sides to Every Coin. Are professional athletes overpaid? Fans pay a ridiculous amount of money for tickets to games and buy officially licensed apparel and memorabilia. He states that if we stopped going to games and buying officially licensed merchandise, then these numbers would obviously have to balance out eventually. Can it really be that easy? Fans prove on a daily basis that athletes are worth every penny they make. Another argument for the high pay rate is their short careers and the injuries they deal with. An article found on Zero Excuses called Professional Sport Injuries, Who's Keeping Score, states that 2/3 of NFL retirees suffer from a permanent sports injury, and that the NFL also has a 68% injury rate. I agree that they should be compensated for their time spent playing, but it is the players making millions that need to be brought back to reality. You could get hurt at your job and be left with medical bills that take years to pay off. Athletes can simply write a check and be done with their medical bills. What about when an injury ends their career? To that question, I say to take advantage of the opportunities they are given. Stay in college and get a degree, since it is paid for. According to StudentLoanHero.com, the average class of 2016 graduate has $37,000 in student debt. Every one of those students would have loved to have the opportunity to go to college, get a degree, and come out debt free. It seems to me that athletes make out pretty well. So what should be done? Athletes should be paid less. In an article written by Bridget Eastgard, an American with a bachelor's degree will earn approximately $1.8 million in their lifetime. There are athletes making that much in one season, if not one game. If the general population can live off $1.8 million in their lifetime, then why do we need athletes making anywhere from $6 to $32 million a year? Using ESPN.com, I was able to calculate the amount of money that could be saved if just the top 10 players in each league drop down to $10 million a year. The result of taking just the top 10 resulted in $146 million being saved from NBA players. If you perform the same calculations with the NFL, a savings of $119 million would be opened up to use on other things. That money combined equals $265 million available just from dropping the highest paid athletes in the NBA and NFL to $10 million a year. According to HomeAdvisor.com, the money saved could build 5,300 homes at a cost of $50,000. Imagine if you applied that same cut across the other three sports and to every professional athlete. The amount of money that could be opened up to be used to combat issues like poverty, hunger, and education, to name a few, would be enormous. Just by taking another 20 names off the list, $199 million becomes available. Using just 40 players' salaries results in $464 million being available to use somewhere other than sports. There is no doubt in my mind that athletes are paid too much. When did we as a society put more value into sports than saving someone's life? My suggestion of cutting salaries to $10 million a year for the highest paid athletes resulted in enormous savings. Money that could be used to combat society issues like poverty, education, and hunger. It comes down to athletes being more responsible. Even at $10 million a year, an athlete would make around $40 million for a career that only lasted 5 years. As I said earlier, an average American only makes $1.8 million in their lifetime. 20 times more money than an average American makes in their lifetime still seems high, but it would be progress. No one is worth that kind of money. It is rather simple. Athletes are overpaid.